Hello everyone, Too Late to Succeed here with a new video. In today's video we will be talking about advanced flipping and how I prefer doing it. We will start this video with exactly 250 million GP and see how far we can get in about 6 to 10 hours. Just a quick reminder that there is a 10 million GP giveaway on my previous video that ends this week, so don't forget to check it out. One more thing is that I will not cover GE tracker in this video as I don't find it very useful. Yes, that is a bit controversial, but honestly whatever ends up on GE tracker gets exploited by 100 flippers, which crashes the margins almost immediately, but it also takes about 5 to 10 minutes to update the costs, which often isn't too accurate. Only reason I use GE tracker is to see what expensive items are available out there and what are the GE limits. Both can be also seen on Wikipedia, which is honestly enough for you to start flipping. Here you can see the expensive list from Wikipedia that I'm using, but before we get into that I'll explain why do we flip expensive items instead of focusing on lower costing ones. The main reason is obviously the margins, so if you're flipping an item that costs between 1 to 5 GP, then the margin is most likely going to be 1 GP only. This is because there are a lot of people flipping hundreds of thousands of these items, and because of the GE limit of 30,000 feathers, you would only make around 30,000 GP profit, which is obviously not a lot, so I would not recommend flipping low costing items. With expensive items that cost 20 million and over, you can often find items that will profit you approximately 500,000 GP per flip, or sometimes even higher, as I'm gonna show you in the video very soon. But don't worry if you don't have a lot of money available, you could still go ahead and start experimenting flipping with the lower costing items before you make a bank and move to expensive items. One thing to keep in mind is that never buy inactive items, because you will most likely be stuck with those items or end up taking a huge loss because no one is going to buy it from you. One thing that you need to remember with flipping is that you have to buy item above the average prices and then sell it back under the average prices, just to figure out what is the difference between buying and selling. This way you will figure out if it's worth flipping or not. One thing that I would recommend is that never flip an item that brings less than 20k margin, or if you're not able to trade more than hundreds of these items, because if you're making 5 to 10k GP and you only are able to buy and sell 5 of these items, then at the end you're not gonna make a lot of profit. Now I'm gonna show you the actual flipping footage from my session. Keep in mind that these items might not be the best items to flip at the moment, especially after this video, so always try to find out what works at the moment for you. Pay attention to the timestamp on this image. We started selling Amulet of Tortures at around 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and it took us approximately 2 minutes until we were able to sell all of our Amulet of Tortures back and made approximately 150,000 GP profit from selling these items. Here's a good example of what can happen to you when trying to find which item to flip. I purchased Staff of Balance for approximately 19 million GP, and I was actually stuck with this staff for a very long time until I managed to sell it. But don't let that stop you, because eventually when you find an item to flip, you will make that money back. Like you see it in this video, I purchased a blade for 100.7 million GP and managed to sell it quite fast for 101.5 million, meaning that I made 800,000 GP profit from this flip. And as you would imagine, because the margins were so high, I did start flipping these items quite a bit, and the prices were actually crashing for this blade, so I had to keep an eye on the price of this item and adjust the prices accordingly. It definitely wasn't so easy to flip these items because not a lot of people were buying it, so I would estimate that approximately 2 to 3 blades were bought and sold each hour. At times I had to set up buy orders and go AFK for a while, then come back to see that all of these blades have been purchased. Also, because these blades cost so much, it didn't allow me to have a lot of money available to experiment with other item flips, but that doesn't matter because I was actually wanting to profit as much as possible, and it is very difficult to find an item that has 800,000 GP profit margins. This is why I stick to trying it out. Another very reliable item is obsidian capes. Those usually have 5 to 20,000 GP margin, and you can actually purchase 70 of those. And those are actually very actively traded, meaning that if you manage to purchase 20 or 30 obsidian capes with 20k margin, you will make over $500,000 profit. Here you can see that we bought the blade for 98.5 million and sold it for 100 million GP, meaning that we profited 1.5 million GP per an item flip, which is fairly crazy because it didn't really take us that long and we made a lot of money. But it doesn't end there. Things get even crazier, as you'll see very soon. But I don't want to make this video all about this one blade, which is why I'll only show you one more clip about the flip, and then I'll move to a new item. Here you can see that we purchased a blade for 95.5 million GP and managed to sell it for 98 million, meaning that we made 2.5 million GP profit. Another method that I wanted to talk about is medium cost items with high volume. These items are, for example, dragon impling jars that cost 240,000 GP and it's sold for 250,000, meaning that you make approximately 10,000 GP profit per item sold. Here on this example you will see that we purchased 705 impling jars for 242,000 GP each, and I actually ended up selling those for 249,000 each, meaning that we made approximately 5 million GP profit from that flip. At the end of this session, as you can see, we made 22 million GP profit. Before I end this video, I wanted to remind you that I will be doing 50 million GP giveaway once we hit 200 subscribers, and I will host 100 million GP giveaway once we reach 1000 subscribers. So don't forget to subscribe, and see you guys next time. Thank you and bye.